armature.
Yeah, right. And yeah.
And this intern just says like, I think I can do that. And got the STL file, and like 3 days later he came cycling, like because everyone in Holland is biking. He came biking with a full-size light armature under his one arm, and showed it off to the guys at the color fab office. And they were like, "How the f did you print this?" So he had just been like hacking around in his spare time and doing a project on that, building a belt printer at home, basically. And it's really like, it looks like it's a really like rep-rappy thing, his original printer.
Yeah, I've seen the open source files that they posted of it, and and you could tell in the open source files that they posted when he designed it, he never imagined printing something like 8 feet long. Because if you notice that the display, the control display, is dead center of the exit side of the belt, so I'm like, yeah, heaven forbid you have to stop something mid-print.
Yeah, I had a similar thing with one of my printers. There's a touch screen on it, and you've sort of got to wait and like. While the bed's going.
No, that open source files that they posted, that's really his like development printer he was doing way before they actually conceived starting Black Belt as a company.
Yeah, so the original design was open source, and then he changed things on it and made it not open source on his own design, or how did that work?
No, the original design is still open source.
Right. Okay. So what's the not open source bit? Because when I watched, it would have been the Murph or something where I saw Carl. There was like not open source, and I was wondering what the.
No, the original Black Bolt printer is before it was called Black Bolt. It is a rep style open source printer. But then they made the Black Belt, which is the actual Black Belt printer, and that's like a custom printer in full aluminum.
Which aspect of it did they actually like make that you can't do? Is it the vertical Z-axis?
No, they did patent a few stuff, but it's mostly considering slicing algorithms, I think. Carl maybe knows more about that.
From what I understand, the slicing algorithm actually, Bill Steele wrote the original code, posted it all open source, which is why Black Belt Cura is free for download, because Cura is open source and so's Bill's code. So it's hard to take two open source things and make a closed source program.
Yeah, for sure.
And then from what I understand, Bill actually designed the first couple angle belt printers and posted all that out there, free to the world as well. Where the question is whether it's patented or not comes down on that maker bot assembly line patent that they've got. A lot of people still, printing. It talks about printing with 3 axes perpendicular to each other, X, Y, and Z. Well, we're printing with one that's not perpendicular to 45. There's where Bill says you're no longer in their patent and you're safe to make it. But a lot of people interpret that where it's close enough, Stratasys or MakerBot, if you actually started making enough printers and making enough money at it, might be, feel threatened and want to challenge your product. And the big thing is I've seen is it's not so much whether there's a patent out there that affects you. It's if the company that thinks their patent is being encroached by you has enough money to sue you till you can't afford to fight any longer, they still win.
Yeah.
And nobody wants to go up against Stratasys.
Yeah.
No, exactly.
I mean, I'd take them on, but you can't.
Oh, good morning, Walter.
Yeah, it's a tricky one, isn't it? I kind of see it as being a bit greedy, but I don't know. Who am I to say?
That's why I try to stick to I'm just doing development and I'm publishing my findings. Anybody wants to help support me do development, development and research and everything, I'll more than happily keep publishing what I find.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, the like this whole IP and patent thing that's a debate you can have for quite a few hours.
Yeah.
Because
by rights, they're doing the right thing. They're defending their patent.
Yeah, absolutely.
They have to. If they don't, then they lose it.
Yeah,
Yeah, right.
and that's how the system is designed.
I'm not saying it's right.
No,
but they're doing what they're supposed to do based on the contract that they put themselves in with taking on a patent. Is that they're
and they spent a lot of money on that patent, and then they spent even more money on defending it. So if they stop defending it now, then they lost all it. Oh yeah.
Yeah, and then they look silly and.
The only part I don't agree with patents is like the one that MakerBox had, or MakerBot. Yeah, MakerBox. Sorry, Matt. No, MakerBot. is they did, conceptual art and described a product, but didn't actually have one and have it working.
Yeah, that's
before they did their patent. I'm like, if you can create something, like if I were to draw a sketch of this printer and then patent it before I ever made it work, I'm not entirely sure that's right. You should be able to say, no, here's my artwork. I'm submitting for a patent but you don't give it to me until I make it work. Okay, now I've made it work. Give me my patent. If you're not using it, it shouldn't be right to sit there, I hate to say it should be right to sit there and sit on a patent for 10 years that you're not even using. Stop it.
Yeah. I reckon burn the patent office to the ground, man. Just level it.
No, but like the original concept of a patent, I really like, to be honest. Like the concept of letting someone profit from it during a limited time, on the premise that you're releasing like the whole process documented for everyone to use then later. Like that part, I think it's good. Like in the base concept. Then
what's a fair window of time, I guess, is the question.
That's the question. How should a patent application be done? Because right now it's like applying for patent is something you generally can't afford. I've been involved when I was a consultant. I've been involved in patent applications for customers, and I can tell you it's a shitload of work and it takes forever. I think like that patent I was involved with, it was a pretty small technical patent. I still believe it was probably $50,000 US dollars at least. Just in like half of that is patent attorneys to read through it and change the text. Because if you don't, you will not get it approved because they know how to formulate things and so on, and to close all the loopholes and so on. So it's really expensive, which means that like the original inventors usually can't take the patent on their stuff because they can't afford it.
Too expensive, and
then they can't.
Or
defend
the workplace
it.
takes the workplace takes the patent,
and so on. So there's lots of problems with the patent system like this right now. Actually, the like I showed for the Olsen Ruby nozzles, we did not patent those.
Yeah, right.
And because we thought like there's no way that we're going to be able to how could we even motivate trying to spend those amounts of money on something like that? Not reasonable at all. We're not going to make that money back by having a patent. No way. So what we actually did was that Anders, who was the original inventor, since he was working in the academia field, he included them in a research paper, which means they're published, which means no one else can patent them basically because there's documented prior art.
Copyright, but not patent. Is that sort of right? The artwork's copyrighted, but and it's kind of means that they
copyright does only applicate to creative works more or less, depending on what legislation you're under. But an exact clone of the design with exact measurements would probably be a infringement in some kind. But actually getting that through in court, well,
but it's kind of is it sort of act as a precedent for the idea already being out there, so someone else can't claim they were first.
Exactly. And since you have an academic publication, that's universally like like patent courts, like universally see like a research paper or an academic publication as a definitive like prior art thing. Because if you have something published on GitHub or on just the internet, it's like, yeah, how can we know that this was published in a specific date and so on and so on? But if an academic journal has put a stamp on it and says, yeah, we got published this date, then that's like solid.
So putting something on Thingiverse, like if you have had some kind of invention and you just put it out there with a Creative Commons license, and it's kind of is mechanical, even though that Creative Commons is a copyright patent type thing, it does semi-protect it from having a big corporation come out and say, no, you can't.
Semi.
Semi, yeah.
But you're not going to have the money to go and take it to them and say, hey, that's my idea, and I said everyone could have it.
No.
You still have to prove you had the idea first. They could go, oh no, we had that idea 6 months ago and just hadn't released it
before you
yet.
put it on Thingiverse. Yeah.
That's why a lot of people in music industry, a lot of people can't afford to get their copyrights. They'll record their song or whatever, put it in a registered self-addressed envelope and mail it back to themselves and just never open it.
Yeah.
Stamped it, sealed. It comes time to fight. You go into court and you go, well, I haven't opened this since I recorded it. You can see the dates. Go ahead and open it and see if it sounds the same.
Yeah.
And there's lots of weird workarounds for a system that is kind of broken. On the other hand, I don't have an answer on how to make it better. So, well.
Yeah.
I always imagine the conversation in heaven that the bloke that invented the wheel and the bloke that invented the patent sort of have when they're together. Why were you born before me? I mean, sorry, why was I born before you? Sorry.
Yeah.
The wheelman would have been loaded.
Hey, caveman wheelman.
Sorry?
Oh, you came back. We want to see if you had anything new to say. You've been hiding from us.
Dude, I'm
just caffeinating.
I'm taking care of stuff behind, I'm trying to figure out what's going on with certain things, but it's all good now.
Certain things.
Plus, after this point, you really don't want me to start talking because, taking care of. Yeah. Because after this point, I'll get 5 words in and then I'll forget what the hell I was saying.
Who are you again?
I'm sorry, who are you again, Father Time?
Yeah. The only reason you don't look as bad as me is you shaved your beard off, traitor.
Yeah, dude, I got this now to worry about, okay? So
I had to trim off my little goatee dreadlock because I couldn't get a face mask to seal on it whatsoever, and they just kept on popping off. So I had to do the snip.
Yeah, I get a kick out of seeing all the people with beards like 3 times longer than mine, and they put the little face mask on. I'm like, and it's because the state law says you must wear it if you want to walk into a store, but it's, it might stop a little bit if they cough, but it's definitely not protecting them in the slightest.
No, it's not going to protect them, but it'll slow down their spread of stuff to other people, I guess. But apparently, firemen used to have beards, and then I think now they're not allowed to have beards because they catch on fire. But yeah, but back in the day, they used to just wet their beard and then get a piece of string and pull their beard up over their mouth and tie it around here, and that was their mask. Apparently, I was told that. I don't know whether that's total waffle, but apparently that was what you did. You just tied a bit of string around your beard and wet it and jumped into the inferno.
But can you imagine how that beard will smell? When you've been there for a few more minutes too long, the water evaporates and start burning all the outside of the beard.
That's how you know when to leave.
You get a burnt hair smell up your nose.
That's here. See ya.
Yeah. Oh, that's crazy. Yeah.
I remember before the first Desert Storm, Navy guys used to be able to grow beards when they were out at sea. They're in the middle of the ocean. What's the big deal? Then Desert Storm happened. It's like, nope, now y'all got to shave because who knows when someone might shoot some sort of, gas missile at us and you need to put your mask on. So
well, that's true.
Now all the U.S. military has to be clean shaven, which is why I have this, because after 20 years, I'm done shaving.
Fair enough. You could just Vaseline your whole face. Just Vaseline the whole beard like a beard.
I got a seal.
Quick, the gas weapons! Go for the basso!
A day later, the mask is permanently pasted to your face. But you know, hey.
Then you don't need the straps anymore.
Exactly.
I put Vaseline in my hair once, and I'll tell you what,
no need for the ear savers.
That's right.
Yeah.
No need for the straps.
Only comes a problem when you go to eat.
Oh yeah.
I think the bloke that invented Vaseline ate it for like 6 months, didn't he, on toast? To prove that it was safe. Pretty sure he did, eh?
Is that where they got Vegemite?
Yeah, they just put some armpit scrapings in with the Vaseline and called it Vegemite.
Yeah, I'm just going to go back to what I was doing before.
My first wife had family in Australia and New Zealand, and they brought me some of that. I took one taste and I said, "And you actually sell this and eat it? Oh my goodness, get that away from me!" They're like, "Oh, it goes great on fried bread." I'm going, yeah, and why would you eat fried bread either? That looks disgusting too.
No, it's good on toast with heaps of butter and a little bit of Vegemite.
A little bit of Vegemite. That's the key. Don't do what the US talk show hosts do and get a teaspoon and go.
It's not Nutella. It is not Nutella.
Definitely not.
Brian Vines is a fan of Vegemite.
Well, his name's almost VB. It's BV.
BV, yeah.
How much more Aussie can you get?
Yeah, exactly.
BV. It's a beer for everyone that doesn't know. It's Victoria Bitter.
Oh, no. Oh, Teresa's saying Vegemite is beer leftovers.
Well, we're not allowed to talk about beer anyway, so shush.
A hop-based beverage.
I'm just gonna note that the minute somebody said beer, Shane popped back in the chat like
no,
instantly.
Shane popped in 2 seconds before because he just felt the urge.
Was that to stop us from talking about it, or because he wanted one?
No. You can talk about it. You just can't consume openly on the street.
Yeah.
If you're
which is why mine's in a coffee cup.
That's all this is. Just coffee.
Do you guys really think I had regular coffee in this the whole entire time?
Of course we do.
No,
I'm a good boy.
You may not have been drinking actual water.
I still find it funny. It's a family-friendly show, and Shane's mug is anything but.
It's the largest coffee cup I have. Okay, you do a show for this long. Okay, you're allowed a few little things.
Some perks.
Okay? And besides, right now it's 6:20 a.m. Okay, if there's kids watching this right now, instead of like cartoons or something else.
Yeah, Nickelodeon must be down or something then.
Hi, boys and girls. You need to go to the cable TV and you need to watch something else because Uncle Shane says so. Bye-bye. Okay, there.
Did you used to watch The Wiggles or something?
That was actually pretty good. That
Remember Friday
like Jimmy Giggle. There's an Australian TV kids show host, and he must be nearly my age, and he talks like this, Jimmy Giggle. I wonder which stage is allowed to get old.
Shouldn't be in DTs right now. Thank you.
I just realized that I had this sitting here.
Another
right
printer.
Next to me. No, it's not a printer.
Oh, hang on. Press? Extruder?
It is a Bonte QR, definitely, on top there. And it is a hot end or two.
Is that a mini injection molding unit?
Nope. And there's an ultimate control board in the back because, well, that's what I had lying around. And there's an SparkFan open scale board there in the back. No, so this is actually a donut-shaped load cell sitting there. And so the hot end is and the hot end is not fixed to the extruder. The hot end is just floating on this frame.
Yeah.
So you can actually measure exactly how much force is put from the extruder into the hot end.
Shane, can you make Erik primary view, please?
Yeah, he is.
Oh, not on the. I just looked at the screen.
On the Zoom, yeah. My massive head's still on the Zoom as the primary.
Okay, because I have hit Eric and then Spotlight Video, and
hang on.
it's stuck
my
on.
phone's
The
phone
stream
froze.
is doing something weird.
My phone froze, and it's on my forehead on the YouTube.
Try
Yes,
this
that's
again.
what I've got too.
Hold on.
It's
Oh,
just
Shane
it's
broke
just
it.
Sam forehead.
Okay, let's try this one more time. Spotlight Video. Okay, can you see him now?
No, still Sam forehead. You guys still seeing just stationary Sam forehead?
That's what I'm getting. Sam forward.
No,
Here we
it's
go.
We're good now.
Fixed.
We're good.
Fixed.
Stream's back.
That's everybody. That's showing everybody all together as a group.
Yep.
All right, there's got to be a delay because Eric's on
Yeah,
my
it's like
screen.
20 seconds.
How's your arms going, Eric? Is it?
No, it's okay.
So tell us more about it. So it's got the scale to gauge the pressure. Is that to go on a printer? Is this a test station?
This is just a test station.
Okay. Yeah.
It's actually to test some characteristics of different hot ends and different nozzles to compare them.
Cool. Because I always having one of them on a printer, knowing whether it should squirt harder or not, or whether it should
Yeah, that's a whole different problem, which is much more advanced. Also, this is really just for static testing of like one property.
Yeah, well, that's a step in the direction, though. Having
and it's usually much easier to actually like quantify what data you actually got if you're just testing about one variable.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah. So this one just like tests. So I wrote some custom small scripts for it, and it ramps up. So first heats up, then it primes, then it ramps up the feeding rate, then it feeds at a certain rate for a certain amount of time, and then it stops. And then
there's nothing underneath. There's nothing sort of sitting up underneath
it's just squirting out here.
Airdrop.
And during that time, then I can then see how much pressure was
how much
in
push.
average. How much did they need to push during that time, and how does that force curve look towards temperature and so on.
Yeah, cool.
To characterize hot ends, nozzles, and filaments.
Nice. So is that giving you similar data to what you would get if you measured the current to the stepper motor, but just way more accurately?
Yeah, you could say something like that. Stepper motors are current driven, so you usually drive them with a constant current, which means you can't really measure the current like that.
Yes, okay, yeah.
But for example, Trinamic has some drivers that can do force feedback. But yeah, this is like a way more sensitive version of that.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah, because it actually measures the linear force between the extruder and the hot end.
Yep. No,
and this is like down to a few grams. So
that would be great for detecting. I mean, not that you'd put a crappy hot end on there in the first place, but if you had like the nozzle gap creality hot end problem with your printer or something like that.
Oh yeah, it
would detect. Holy cow! It's got to push so hard to get that filament to come out.
Definitely. But it would take some quite complicated control electronics too. This is really just a test station I cobbled together for doing some internal testing at work.
yeah, that's cool.
I used a little bit of laser cutting with some MDF and a few parts I had around. That's a spool holder from an Ultimaker. It's a control board from an Ultimaker. Actually, this control board is broken. It's I think is one of the stepper drivers is blown on it. But I didn't need that stepper driver, so who cares?
Dodged it.
Yeah, and then it's this is the SparkFun Open Scale board, which basically is like a whole electronics part of a scale.
Okay.
So you just connect up to the load cell, and you can connect up to it via serial port and like calibrate it with the known weight and everything, and then you just get a serial data stream out of what it measures in the units you decide.
So by telling what pressure you've got, are you aiming to like work out data on like how easily the plastic flows at certain temperatures to identify the best temperature for plastic to print at, or what kind of data are you going for?
I have done some things towards that, yes. And that's one of the interesting things, but I've mostly used it to test different nozzle geometries towards each other because I work with nozzles.
Nozzle. Yeah. So all other elements are the same, and you just change the nozzle and compare the.
Yeah.
Yep. Cool. Very interesting. And so
just
you're
to
noticing big differences between different nozzle geometries, obviously.
There is definitely differences between different nozzle geometries, and it has helped me understand a little bit more about how the geometry does affect some characteristics. It's not super straightforward, to be honest, and there's also quite this is also just one part of it, because, for example, a nozzle with a very short orifice and a quite steep angle inside will give you a very low extrusion pressure. But on the other hand, it will also be very prone to oozing and stringing.
Yes. Yeah, so the long barrel of the nozzle hole, the long orifice gives you more dripping because there's material sitting in it that you can't.
No, the other way around. If you have if you have very short orifice, then it's very little back pressure, so it flows out dripping easily, and it drips very easily. If you have a longer orifice, the polymer chains can line up in another way, and it does. So it has different flow characteristics, but it also doesn't drip in the same way. But it requires more extrusion force. So it's really a compromise, like everything
trying to
else.
find the right balance. So when you're seeing, like, say, for example, like a E3D V6 nozzle in, say, 5 different diameters of barrel, does the barrel get longer when it gets wider or not?
Yeah, absolutely.
Does?
Yeah,
to keep within that same considerations.
Yeah, the end orifice gets proportionately longer to the diameter on most any commercial nozzle you can find.
Yeah, okay. So drilling out a regular nozzle is not going to give you the same inner geometries as...
it's not.
Yeah.
It's going to give you kind of similar because you also get, since you also widen the diameter, you also got the cone inside, so you are longing the channel a bit.
But not in the same ratio.
Not in the same ratio, and you're going to lose the what I call the shoulder, the flat surface around the orifice. You're going to lose that,
and that's important.
No, yes and no. I would say that as a very simplified, generalized version, a nozzle with a larger surface around the orifice is more tolerant toward extrusion not being perfectly calibrated.
And also wider extrusion paths as well.
Also wider extrusion line, definitely, absolutely.
Yeah. I like to use like a 0.4 to print a 0.6 mil line width.
Yeah. No, but the wider the shoulder you have, the more tolerant it is both to how extrusion lines is, but also not perfectly calibrated extrusion because it helps iron out the adjacent lines.
Yep.
And how it irons down the surface. If you have a super pointy nozzle, it will be much more sensitive to that.
So you feel like when you're over extruding, it's more sensitive to it with a pointier nozzle.
Yeah, absolutely.
It plows more, sort of thing. Like
but also a wider surface puts down more heat into your part. So if you're trying to print super high detail, you want a pointier nozzle because otherwise you lose detail because of excess heating and so on.
Yeah. Have you seen the Triangle Labs nozzles that have got like a spray painting tip in them? That's like
the teeny weeny ones.
Yeah. Really skinny.
Let me just say like this. This printer I showed before, this is the printer that nozzle original was designed for. And
now,
the inventor...
You guys designed that and then...
No, but René, who did this printer, he designed those airbrush nozzles like 3 or 4 years ago and published them on the internet. Triangle Labs and the other Chinese ones just found them like less than a year ago and started producing them. They have been forgotten for like 2 or 3 years. More or less. But I actually got an original one later in the box back here.
Yeah, cool. No, I think they're brilliant. I mean, I just saw them and thought, oh, that's cool.
They are really good for super high detail printing. But that's also one more reason actually, because one, they're very pointy. of course. So you get a very little surface around. You're not putting in much excess conductive heat into the part. But also, since they are longer, you get much less radiated heat from the heater block.
Yeah.
So, okay, it's still like 1 centimeter or less, like 7
That's a
millimeters
lot.
probably. But that's a lot compared to how long
Yeah.
your heater block is more than double the distance usually.
Put your finger a centimeter away from the heater block, and then put your finger on the heater block.
yeah. And since you got the like the square root law, so it's double distance is a quarter of the heat per area. So doubling the distance is doing a lot when it's kind of high detail printing. No, so actually the dice printer, since it's so small and doing so can do such high speeds and so on, it's really made for high detail printing. And that's what nozzles were made for. A very small printer capable of very high detail printing at relatively high speeds. And all the people that try them and say like, yeah, they're just jamming and so on. Yeah, because they're using them wrong. They try to print at like high flow rates and turning up fans to max and so on. They're gonna have problems. It's not meant for that.
Yeah, because it cools it down too much. There's not enough heat transfer into it.
No.
Yeah, having your layer cooling aimed right would definitely be critical using something like that, I would imagine.
Oh yeah, it is. But I guess you also seen what I said with point your nozzles with the nozzles you're using now, Carl.
Using the ones you made anyway. Luckily, still all brass. I don't have that fine little tip.
No,
I can still get away with running a whole lot of cooling without too much issue. I still get the occasional clog, but I would say maybe 25% more often than I get on another printer, and that's when I'm getting down into the 0.4 and 0.6 nozzles. The 0.8 and 1.0, I don't have clog issues at all.
No, I was more thinking about like how point your nozzle is more sensitive to extrusion parameters.
There is a little bit because I'm running at an angle. I run into a whole other issue though, because every layer I'm printing basically overhang. The issue I have is I have to make sure I've got plenty of. The biggest issue I have is getting layer cooling at just the right amount to where I'm getting good layer adhesion but yet not getting curling. I go too high, then I have great print quality, but you grab it and push on it and you just hear the layer lines crack because I cooled it too much to compensate for the layer curl.
So you almost want
a very fine line in the middle.
You almost want to deliberately get your cooling wrong. So like where a normal printer, you would want it evenly cooled from both sides to evenly cool. You kind of almost want to cool it from a certain direction to compensate for the curling and the.
Sadly, from what I'm piecing together, the best place to put, be to be kind of blowing at it from the underside, which is the one angle I can't hit it from because that's where the belt is. That's why I need the real pointed nozzles because I've got no clearance underneath the print head. I keep trying with different designs with the bird air. That was one reason I like the bird air is I can make those nice little exactly aimed pipes. Yeah, those beautiful things.
And just for you guys that haven't seen these are the nozzles we're talking about with Carl.
Right. This is before the threads are added,
yeah. It's basically it's taking E3D dimensions but putting basically an MK8 style tip to it.
Yeah, it's a bit longer. It's a bit pointier. It gets a little bit of radii here to make it even more make the pointiness go there. And it's has a very small shoulder compared to the orifice.
Yes.
Very small. I think this is a 1 millimeter nozzle with a 0.2 shoulder or something like that. 0.1 shoulder. Yeah. The shoulder is almost not there if you look at nozzles.
Yeah.
It's just like the pointy.
If noise wasn't an issue and we were using compressed air from a compressor for cooling rather than regular air, we could make the orifices microscopic and tiny and maybe even drill them into the nozzle. Like a oxy welder has the quite complicated array of tips where it's got a main tip and then it's got heaps of little holes around it.
Yeah. I would say that would be kind of counterproductive because you would be heating the cooling air a lot.
Yes. Yep.
That and how many people here have a clean nozzle? I see them getting clogged within the first print or two.
True.
Yeah.
Okay, what about the other idea I've had in the past was, your silicon sock. What about having a silicon sock that's got built into the outside of that, some little, just hanging off it, some little ducts that you plug into some, like say you've got your fang, have like some kind of little rubber thing where that plugs into the sides of your hot end sock, and then they've got some ducts that point right at the very tip of the nozzle, but still insulated from the nozzle by silicon.
That seems more feasible. That's the fun thing, is just trying to figure out. Like, I know Slice made the little tubes you could supposedly, like, if you designed a fang idea, they made little metal tubes you could put as inserts on the end, trying to protect your plastic prints
to get closer to the job without it melting your fang. So I mean, I reckon maybe if you could like jet the air, like from a skinnier, more high pressure situation, rather than trying to use just fans to cool, if you had compressed air.
Yeah, the biggest problem with going with pressurized airflow is always that, like that bird air pump is definitely not the quietest thing.
No, yes, absolutely.
No, that's my biggest downfall with it.
Yeah, and also an air compressor, like a real compressor, it's incredibly inefficient compared to a fan.
Oh, absolutely. But if it does a job that something else can't do, then it's happy days, I suppose.
Yeah. But like an aquarium air pump, for example, is a better solution because it's not meant to produce those super high pressures. It's meant to work at like 1 bar of pressure or something like that.
Which is probably enough to still get you through a skinny tube.
It's more than enough to get through skinny tubes. Yeah, exactly. One like that.
This is my backup when the bird goes. It doesn't quite give me as much pressure, but it'll keep a print going. Worst case scenario.
Yeah.
And I hate to say it though, I wish this put out just a little bit more pressure, because it is silent. I can't even hear this thing run when I've got it plugged in. But that bird air, I can hear it through the ceiling that's right above my head here in my bedroom when I'm printing.
I actually did remote cooling, but in another way. A couple of years back, we used. I don't think I even have a picture of that anymore, or I might have. But we did on a extremely modded Ultimate Original back in like 2014, something like that. Probably 2014. We did we took a high pressure radial fan, and we printed an adapter for 2, I think it was like 12 millimeter tubes or something like that. So not at all the small tube the beardeye uses, but quite but more like a thin garden hose or something like that.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
And put the fan remotely and just had the just pulled it out to the hot end.
I kind of like that idea, especially if you're using a Bowden system. You could run your Bowden tube and your wiring through the same
exactly.
Nice neat tube.
Trying to find that picture.
Yeah, finding a quiet pump is definitely the weak point in doing forced air anyway.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then to be able to control the speed too. A lot of them don't like to be driven slower. And
yeah. I kind of pictured using something like a small pump, like a compressor for a car, to blow up your car tires over, how long they take, but plug it into a larger compressor's air tank. So you've but still it's same problem.
And it's really inefficient. And those are usually not rated for any duty cycles to be talking about. So
that's right.
You burn them out really fast. Which is unfortunate, but yeah.
Yeah, even the bird air pumps, at least I've already fried one of them, because, unfortunately when you get a belt printer, what happens? The prints get longer and longer. And when you run a bird air for 14 days straight, it doesn't like you.
Fair enough.
Longer in more than one way.
Yes. Yeah, printing that Thanos blade that I did pretty much burned up the first bird air pump I got.
No.
Cool.
I did find a printer we did install that on, but didn't find the
Picture of it. You're doing better than me if you're even able to find your photos. So
Google Photos.
Yes.
Google Photos. It's the best thing ever to find photos. But this was the printer at least.
Is that in a cave, or does it just look like it?
It basically is in a cave because our first makerspace place was basically in a basement with like cave walls. So we had
cool.
like open rocket wall. Yeah, it was cool. It was horribly impractical because you couldn't fasten anything to a wall because there were no straight walls in the whole place.
Yeah.
No, but this was the printer. It's an Ultimaker original with like plexiglass enclosure and direct. It was modded to. Totally modded.
Is that another tiny little wrap machine next to it?
Yeah, that's a Huxley. Yeah.
Cool.
And if you don't know what a Huxley is basically the smaller, simpler version of a Mendel. Or well, it's a smaller, simpler version. This is actually Huxley that was based on the Prusa Mendel. So this is like it's like what can be fourth generation rep or something like that.
Yeah, wow.
Still like 2012, 2013, 2011, somewhere around that. But that's a Huxley, yeah. I also found this picture of a water-cooled Ultimaker head.
Nice.
That I machined somewhere in 2013 in our makerspace with a water bottle and an aquarium pump there. It worked decently, but it's not perfect. But it was a quite interesting thing.
Yeah, cool.
It was an interesting exercise in CNC milling and so on.
Did you do that in your workplace environment or in just your backyard?
No, this was at our makerspace. I wasn't even working with 3D printing back then.
Yeah, cool.
So are they standard PTFE couplers? Like,
yeah, more or less. Or there are pneumatic couplers, industrial ones. Yeah, and so there was two for the filament buttons and two for the water cooling. And then we had milled channels in the bottom block there. I've also have done some CNC stuff and so on through the years. I actually own, let's see now, 3 CNC machines, I think, currently. I think this is when we milled out that part actually.
Cool.
But two of my machines is like permanently on loan to our makerspace, and the third one is a project in storage. So this is one of my machines, which is at the makerspace. It's a school CNC mill from the 70s. It originally ran on punch strips.
Wow.
Oh wow!
And had like a Motorola 6800 processor or something like that. It was very, very old style.
So it's still a CNC. It's not.
Like
it
was a CNC definitely.
So the G code was on punch cards, like physical punch cards.
Yeah. Punch strip. Like rolls of punch strip.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, it was. And this one even had like a very basic tool changer and stuff. Is
that a plasticine or like a putty handle on that?
It's a what you call it, polymorph.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah.
That makes me feel less dodgy about using super glue to hold things on by hot end. Like super glue and tissue like jammed into it, and then you drizzle super glue on the tissue, and it's like there you go.
If it works, no, but I actually converted this machine a couple of years back, so it's now running in embedded like mini ITX PC, running Linux CNC. And as you see, it's a 4-axis setup now with rotary axis and stuff like that.
Yeah, cool.
And that you see that cover over the milling spindle? That's all printed. So
the red cover?
Over
the
no, the orange one.
Sorry.
Yeah, this orange cover. This is printed.
Oh, really?
Yeah. We just happened to find the spray paint that was like
the same color.
Exactly the same color as the machine.
Did you weather that on? Did you weather that intentionally to make it look?
No, that's wear and tear.
Genuine weather.
Genuine weathering. It as I said, it's running in a makerspace.
Yeah.
So which means
getting this.
And this makerspace, Stockholm makerspace, we're a non-profit makerspace of. We have about 300 square meters of space.
Wow, that's sizable.
And we are running on a membership-based model where you pay to have access to the space for a certain amount of time. So you pay monthly.
That's how the Spark House in Newcastle works. Same thing.
It's a quite common model. But every month we have some. Well, at least before Corona happened, we had an average of about 220 people with active lab access every month.
Great.
And about 500 or 600 people in the organization.
Jeez, that's great. That's really good numbers.
But that also means that every tool in here will see some wear.
Yes, absolutely.
And this is my other machine. It's a larger portal style CNC. It does like 80 by 85 centimeters, something like that now.
Yeah, cool.
It's quite decent, though that spindle starting to burn out. So we're actually remaking that whole Z-axis because that Z-axis was scrapped from an old machine.
Okay.
And it's really the least rigid parts in the whole on the whole machine by far, which is a little bit annoying because it limits the performance of the whole machine.
Bottlenecked
quite a lot. Yeah, it's a large bottleneck. Which of course is annoying. You don't want large bottlenecks.
Oh, when you got beer, you don't mind if there's a big bottleneck on it.
Yeah. No, but we did that. And I actually just bought a CNC router, more or less unintentionally, or when you get a deal that is too good. So you're just like, yeah, I'm buying that, and then you're thinking, oh, where the hell should I put this one?
Oh my goodness!
Oh man,
that's what you call an impulse buy,
honey.
Yeah. I had to call a friend up who has that truck. It was like, yeah, could you help me like picking that up? No, but it's been sitting in the prototyping department of one of the universities in Sweden, and one of the bearings in the spindle seized, and they were like, "Yeah, no, we're not going to spend money on fixing that. It's like old. It's from like year 2001. It only got upgraded in 2011. It's really old."
Oh man.
So that's a German-made selector machine with a rack-based tool changer and full enclosure and everything. It's probably like a 35-40K machine new. And they were like, "No, we're not gonna keep that one. We're just gonna buy a new one. We don't want any hassle. We don't want any hassle with the sale, so we're gonna put it to cheap. So do you want it for $500?" And they were like, "Yep, I'm getting that one."
Wow.
It did cost as much as in transport, though, than
Of course.
to buy it. But
Yeah.
especially since it was from the northernmost part of Sweden.
So is that your shed there, your barn?
No, it's a friend of mine's barn. It's actually my uncle's barn. Because I didn't have space to put it anywhere, so I was like, could I put it in yours a little while until I figured out where to put this?
I need to just build a house around this. Can I store it at your place until I do?
Yeah, it's not like I can take it home. I live in like a 54 square meter apartment. I don't know where that's gonna fit.
No, you put your bed on top of it.
Yeah, could be that. Yeah.
One of those, you got a good deal when you got to call 8 of your friends to help you move it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and that one, to be honest, I probably need 8 friends if we're gonna move it by hand, because it's like 500 kilos or something like that.
Wow.
But it was useful to have a friend with a truck with the crane.
Yeah.
Still got to get it into the building though.
Yeah, he actually managed to lift it right until the front, and then my uncle had these pallet trucks that you could pull it in with, so it actually worked out. Now I just got to figure out how to actually get that one running again and where I should put it. I also got some other impulse buys. I got a Stratasys Dimension Elite sitting in there too.
You need to get like a small flatbed truck that you can actually cut the legs off and stick it on the back of the truck and house it on.
Oh yeah, that could be something. Yeah.
Drive around with it.
Yeah,
mobile mill.
drive around and see
mobile mill.
CNC milling. Drive by.
We'll do it at your house.
Oh no! I just corroded my eyeball.
No. Yeah. Now, as I said, it was too good of a deal to pass up. So well.
Yeah. What, you got a CNC machine right next to it?
No, that's the thing to the right is a climate chamber actually, but that's not mine. That's mine and my uncle's. So. Yes, good deals. And all the maker stuff you try to do but don't really have the time to do. Yeah.
The good deals. That's how the White Knight got half of its parts. David Randolph was getting rid of this 500 cube D-bot that he started building and never finished, and it pretty much got torn apart for all the extrusion and all the other parts to build the first White Knight. One of these days I'm gonna have to put it back together.
Yeah. On the topic of cool printers, by the way, and cool machines, this is more business related for me because this is one of the machines I actually work with. But we just started selling these awesome machines from a Finnish company called Mini Factory. It's a really quite small company. They're like 5 or 10 people or something like that. But they make these awesome ultra polymer printers. Like if you see in a heated chamber, this is it. It's a heated chamber that basically looks like an oven. Well, it is an oven.
Are they allowed to do that yet, or do they have to wait a year before they can sell that?
They say that they have some things that makes it not infringe fully on the patent, so they are quite certain they won't get sued. But I'm gonna leave that to them.
Cool.
To be honest,
I guess is it true that the patent ran out kind of technically a year ago, and then they kind of got it extended for another year?
Oh yeah. We're supposed to be running out this February, I think. But it was extended until next year, February.
Right. How did they wangle that?
No, there's laws about patent extensions that you can pull. So well.
Okay.
Yeah, but I just had to show you because I think this machine is too cool.
Yeah, that's awesome.
It's a vacuum table that holds down a glass plate. It's a heated chamber that can reach, I think, 220 or 230.
Yeah, cool.
Wow. So you like the print chamber is harder on this printer than what you usually have your nozzle when you're printing PLA.
Yeah.
It's like all metal fans. It has like a silicon shroud that moves on the top to isolate the top chamber from the inner chamber, and forced air cooling over the whole like feeder components and so on. So like this is from the outside when it's printing. I think so. On this picture, I think it's printing. I think that is Altem. That picture, which was it could be PPS.
Is Altem basically PEI?
Yeah, Altem is like Altem is a brand of PEI, but Altem is also the brand of the manufacturer that has the patents on PEI as a polymer, which means that like every PEI you get in the world
Altem.
basically is Altem. So
yeah, gotcha.
So it's actually I think the company that has the right they get bought by Sabic, I think. Yeah, one of the large polymer giants at least.
Yeah, okay.
So but the Altem resin is basically PEI. Oh, and you also know that the printer is high temperature when it states in the manual that you have to have gloves on, heat-resistant gloves, when you're changing your filament.
Holy cow!
Because the filament chamber is 120 degrees or something like that to keep the filament dry enough.
To keep it dry. Yeah, wow.
Yeah. No, it's. I haven't been printing with this much. Actually, I think this demo unit has been on loan to a 3D printing center in Sweden, but we will get it back to the office in a week, I think, and then I get to play with it actually.
Cool.
Which will be fun. The only thing not fun is the price of the materials.
Yeah.
Because
so what's that little flange there worth?
Good question. It's not that many grams. But let's just say that the spool can be, depending on what material, it's probably between. Let's see what we have. For example, like if it's printed PPSU, it's about 270 for 500 grams.
Oh wow! Yeah. Ouch.
Out of my budget.
You definitely want to print that hot enough.
Plus tax, of course.
Yeah.
I think the most expensive is the carbon filled peak, because that's like 500 for 500 grams, so it's like $1 a gram. Wow. It's insane, to be honest. But it produces super cool parts. So, but you should have a real need for it. It's not just playing around with it. It's not what you print Yodas with.
So you mean I shouldn't print these in it?
You could, but it would be the most expensive skulls.
Quick, Shane, get in. Get in, Shane. Get in.
All right,
do it now.
Quickly. Okay, so anyways, it's now we're in the last 3 hours, okay? And for the East Coast right now, it is 7 a.m. and I need to change things up, okay?
Please do.
Because I'm gonna have people stacked up and they're gonna be coming in.
Yep.
Yep.
No, we've been on here for hours now. So.
But anyways, I do need to shift some people around. Sam, unfortunately, not unfortunately,
thanks for having me
on you.
Yeah.
But out of everyone here, you kind of been here the longest.
I've been here since I've been here for 9 hours, I think.
Yeah.
I don't know. Something crazy like that. I don't know. So yeah, thank you for having me for so long, and I hope I helped to keep things ticking along.
Okay. Thank you very much for coming.
Absolutely.
It was great to have you. I'm sorry?
Sweet.
No, all good. Thank you.
Cool. All right, we'll see you later, everyone. And thanks for watching. And I hope that you guys, I'm going to keep watching the stream.
Yeah.
Probably going to get some pizza and.
No, I'm sorry. After you leave the stream, you cannot watch it or interact. You're banished. Goodbye. Please put your torch.
Make him cry, Shane. Don't make him cry.
How to make friends.
I'm leaving Twitter now.
He's been on for a day.
I just joined it for this.
Shane's like, I'm taking my stream and leaving.
I know, exactly. I'm taking my phone, going home.
Cool.
No,
All right, well, thank you very much. Yeah, seriously, thanks for having me. And
no, seriously, thank you for being on and being basically a trooper for 9 hours.
Cool. All right, well, you guys have a great stream. And
where can people find you?
Facebook, 3D Printing Revolution.
Okay.
YouTube, 3D Printing Revolution, and Twitter, 3D Printing Revolution, I guess. I don't know my exact Twitter handle at the moment, but yeah, just on YouTube, Facebook. Add me as a friend on Facebook. I pretty much add anyone. And hope I see you guys around. I've been probably going to put together more YouTube tutorial-y sort of stuff now that I've got a computer that can handle it. So expect to see more of me on YouTube. And I'm often in the chat for the JAYTEE show. If anyone ever watches the JAYTEE show,
I do.
Frequently in the chat. So yeah, definitely catch up with me there as well. And yeah, thanks for thanks for the chat, guys. It's been great.
Yeah, you too.
Cool.
And thanks for coming by.
Do I like?
Yeah, bottom right-hand corner, leave meeting.
Yeah.
Flame boy.
But I'm bumped. Okay, so we have Mr. Christopher Russell returning again. And he'll be joining us for the next couple hours, hopefully. So, without further ado, we'll bring him in. The other gentleman we'll be bringing in will be, for those of you who've catched Veterans and Fotis's joint Twitch stream, whatever you want to call it. He's a regular on there. He does some incredible work with painting miniatures, and hopefully he'll bestow some of his skill, knowledge, talent with us. And hopefully he won't make any stupid memes or gifs of me, because yeah, that's his talent. So we'll bring on GrumpyDude. Chris looks wide awake. Let me see. Hold on, because I have to see if somebody is going to let me know if it's okay, if they can come on. Because then it's 2 other people left. I don't know. All right. So, anyways, and then again, it's Arte Creator. They want to come back in to join in for the 6 to 7 hour. Bring them in. And then finally, if I'm going to find out about our third person here, see if he's ready to come in. So talk amongst yourselves.
He released us now.
So has anyone suggested that GrumpyDude looks like Mad Monkey? They're one in the same. Have you ever seen them at the same time?
Yes.
No.
Yes.
Oh, really?
Yep.
Yeah.
What's your stream?
Here's my grand theory.
Sorry.
Destroying theories.
Yep.
I'm not going to let the truth get in the way of a good story, by the way.
Right.
So what time is it everywhere?
It's 1 p.m.
1 p.m.? Yeah?
Yep.
Cool.
Oh. Shane, do we have another one joining us? Oh, Shane went off.
Shane's here. Shane's here. Somebody needs some time to make sure that he looks pretty and his camera is set up right and his microphone.
Oh.
But he hasn't told me if he's ready yet or not.
He's ready.
He's ready?
He's ready.
Of course he's going to type it in the YouTube chat. Yeah, okay. Okay.
Wait, there's a YouTube
Ladies and gentlemen, for those of you on Twitter or any type of social media, you've seen him around for the past 2 years almost now. I call him the filament whisperer because I don't know any filament this guy can't get to do what it needs to do. It's the one, the only filament frenzy, Mr. Tom Jackson.
Oh, you didn't butcher the name.
It's because his is easy. All right, you know what, Chris? You lied.
He said he was ready. Tom.
That's on you.
Tom, we're looking at your backside.
Boo.
No, he's doing he's reading a book. It's one of those, it's an artistic entry.
Yeah.
His phone.
Hi, Tom.
Gotta keep up the appearances.
Blame Chris. Chris said you were ready.
No audio.
No audio.
You know, prima donnas, they always have to make a late entrance.
Oh, my God, I'm getting overrun. Okay, you know what? I'm going to bow out I'm going to bring in... okay, so I'm going to do this.
If you bring in one more, you'll get 9.
No, because there's someone else as well.
Okay.
So then I will bow out. You can still have your 9. I'll just be in the voice in your ears or whatever. So
I have enough voices already in my head. I don't need another one, Shane.
That's it.
all right. So real quick, another
Can we hear you
gentleman,
now?
cohort
Yes.
of Mr. Dude and Fotis and Veteran, and we'll bring him in again. It is Fred, the 3D printing. Fred at the 3D printing. I can be at the.
It's the diorama guy.
Finally. I'm just going to bring this person in because basically, if you don't know who this guy is, you either just started in 3D printing or you're just not on social media whatsoever. It's the one, the only, this person here, your friend and ours, the beloved one. There we go.
Hey, Joe.
Hello.
There we go.
And now you have your Hollywood squares.
This is a first. I don't think we've ever had Joe and Tom on camera together.
Yeah.
I just fell apart, bro.
I'm sorry, Tom, do you need some water or anything?
Yes, it's Red Bull. Don't worry.
Ah, it's Red Bull. Okay.
Red Bull and a red.
Oh,
cup.
sorry. No branding. I'm sorry.
Tom, where's your shirt? I left it off. I wanted you to be the smart one, Fred. Oh, thank you. How are you since yesterday? You sleep anything? I watched till about 4 o'clock this morning.
Joe's muted.
Joe's not muted. It's his microphone.
Okay. No audio from Joe, if that's more accurate.
Well, no, it's just his microphone isn't showing up at all.
When I came in, I had to click a thing in the bottom left corner that said enter audio and
Just in
enter.
case.
Right. And we have audio.
Joe, speak.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yep.
Yes.
All right. So I specifically wanted to join this slot because I've never actually spoken to Tom before.
Don't make him cry, Joe.
Hey, I'm getting all emotional.
I'm crying.
Oh, you want a hug? How's everyone doing?
Good.
Good. I think Shane is asleep, isn't he?
No, I'm Shane's here.
What a trooper! Like 24 hours awake. And 3D Rev, 9 hours. Like, geez, that guy was on stream before I went to bed.
See, proof of life. I'm still here.
So what are we talking about? Come on. What are we talking about? What are we going to discuss?
We were waiting for you to start the discussion, Joe.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're leading the discussion now, Joe.
No, I have the supporting role here. Nothing else. I came here just to listen to Tom.
Let's get to talk now. I saw Erik sharing some great stuff with nozzles earlier. That were awesome to watch.
The nozzle whisperer.
Yeah, the nozzle whisperer. Yeah.
That sounds wrong. But
Yeah, sounds wrong.
Here, whisper into my nozzle, I think is the statement.
Should I leave you guys alone or something?
No, it's all good.
Should I start removing some extra people?
Joe, so what has your role been down in Malta with everything going on? I know you've been kind of going nonstop 24/7 down there.
Yes. Thankfully, today in Malta, for the first time in, I believe, 6 or 7 weeks, there has been no active cases or no newly detected cases. Knock on wood. But yeah, for the past 4 weeks, all I've been doing is printing shields. And I've donated my 5,000 shield this week. So I'm tired. But yeah, it's awesome. I mean, the sort of demand kind of calmed down now, and that's fine. It gives me a bit of time to sort of breathe and get back to the channel. So yeah, I'm now doing ZBrush, learning ZBrush, and yeah, it's fun. Lots of things coming. But my role was purely just to print shields. As probably a lot of people know, it's Maltese islands consist of Malta and Gozo, which is a smaller island. That's where my wife is from. And I've pretty much supplied all of Gozo with face shields along with some of Malta's face shields.
Wow.
Awesome. Putting them all to work.
Yes. Pretty much. I mean, the thing is, because I didn't want to stack any of them, so it's just a matter of literally every few minutes you have a printer that's ready, because I was printing 2 at a time on every machine, because I wanted to make sure they're like as best print quality as possible. So I couldn't have more than 16, 17 printers running at one go. I just wouldn't have managed at all. In fact, I bought some shelving in order to be able to put more printers in my office. So yeah, I was at max capacity there. I have more printers available, but it wouldn't be feasible, or I wouldn't be able to keep up, because I have to leave them downstairs in the garage, and it's constantly going up and down, and it's just
24-hour gym session.
What? Sorry?
24-hour gym session.
Pretty much.
You've got a lift though, right?
Yes, I do have a lift. But the thing is, like, it's 3 floors down, and by the time I go and walk to the other end, to go into the garage, get the prints, and come back up, and then these are ready, and it's just a measure of keeping up. Plus, if I put prints on downstairs, I have to make sure that they start correctly. So that's another 15 minutes downstairs in the garage, sort of making sure that everything is running properly. And by the time those start running properly, then another print is ready downstairs. So then I have to spend another 10 minutes there.
Imagine if we didn't have lift and you had to go down and not wear around outside every time.
It's funny, because the first 6 months that we lived here, that's how it was. Yeah. I remember my vlogs. I was like,
He needs the fireman pole.
Oh, that would be awesome.
Just slide straight down to the garage. That'd be perfect.
Yeah, slide through 2 apartments from my neighbors, downstairs south, then into the garage.
And then he needs a rope and those like Mission Impossible handles with brushless motors that you can just zoom up.
Yes. Yes. There you go. Ooh, that's an episode idea.
Maybe a zip line
first.
You just print the handles in something strong.
Yeah.
Either that or an intern.
Yeah, he's a junior, doesn't he?
I need a minion.
I'll nominate myself.
I need a minion.
You're quiet, Fred. That's not like you, Fred. You normally got much.
I know. In the presence of both of you guys, I'll just keep quiet. I actually noticed Joe has a ExiPen glove on. A bit like
yes, sorry, because it's become sort of second nature now to have this, because I'm currently, I don't know, can I share my screen here? I don't know if I can.
Yes, you can.
I think
yeah, you can.
Yeah, there's a share button at the bottom of the screen in green.
I'll show you what I'm currently working on. Did I just break something?
Nice.
No. So yeah, I'm kind of teaching myself ZBrush, and there are these courses on Skillshare. So yeah, it's just using sort of planes to put images on, so you can sort of get an idea of what you're doing and whatnot, and it's fun. It's a lot of fun.
You posted one of the models that you modeled, and it was quite cool. The Frankenstein, wasn't it?
Franken, yeah, that was my first ever. I just went into, so I watched like probably about 20 hours worth of videos on Skillshare, and yeah, I decided I just want to design something, and I did that.
When you showed me that, I expected it to be good because obviously you don't do things by art. But then when I first saw it, I was like, no way, it's done that. I thought it was great.
So yeah, I also have, I'm doing, so I have the skull, then I also have, hold on, the pelvis.
Is that a his and hers?
It's a unisex pelvis. And we also have the ribs. It has to be a 3D printable version of the ribs, because then after this we'll be doing, you know, the femur and the spine and everything, and then put everything together. It's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun.
Now I'm hungry.
It's my getaway to everything.
Yeah, I've been trying to convince Mad Monkey Jordan to finish his ZBrush tutorials for a couple of weeks, but I think Grumpy is catching up onto it.
No.
He's like, I'm just happy painting. I'm licking. Yeah. Tasted the paint then again.
Yep.
What are you painting, Grumpy?
Orcs.
Oh, you're still painting the orcs. Okay.
Yep.
Yeah. Jesus. Do you have any pictures of your work, Grumpy? I don't think everyone has seen
probably it. On Twitter, mostly.
The Grumpy Dude.
Yeah. I think I can try and find something. Tom, what have you been painting?
Painting? I don't paint.
Painting?
His prints are too good. They don't 3D. Need paint.
Tom, what's that thing you do? I don't know. What is it? Yeah, printing. Yeah, what is it?
We actually saw him paint something on a stream with a spray can.
It turned out great.
You forget this is the same person who basically used a paint bomb on a Robin model.
Please note that also worked.
Hey, it actually came out really good.
Like, I was going to ask Joe, I've been watching some videos of his airbrushing. When you airbrush, for instance, now, like with those printers behind me, if I had a little thing with a sucky fan and so on, would you be all right to paint airbrush here and it wouldn't like sit on the smooth rods or like that?
Was that a question for me?
Yeah, of course it was.
I'm sorry, because I know there are many who actually airbrush here. So what was the question again? Sorry.
Like to airbrush now, where I'm sat at the desk, if I have like a little extraction unit, a little studio to paint in, it's not going to affect any like the smooth rod type printers.
No, it wouldn't. No. So it definitely wouldn't. Apart from that, like airbrushing spray is like, it's not that dense. It doesn't disperse that much. It's quite controlled. As long as you're pointing away from the printers, you're absolutely fine.
Also, it's acrylics, so
exactly
doesn't really matter.
Water-based wiper. Yeah, I watched the Lighthouse videos again the other night, and again.
I actually have. So I'm literally the mini right now. The last 19 hours of print, I actually printed all the parts for Yuri's Apex Legends Havoc blaster.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Which was a couple of 100 hours of printing in total for parts, and I used solely the mini to do that. I have a couple of SLA models to actually paint as well. So yeah, I have everything set up, but I had to clear out my airbrushing disc and do it as a clean area, because that's where now I sanitize the shields. So it's like, that's my clean area over there. So once that's done, now I can remove everything and reset up everything with my paints, because I just restocked on pretty much a lot of things. and I got a handheld sender, a battery-powered handheld sender, so I don't have to send my hand.
Yeah, they're pretty handy when you start sending stuff non-stop. Yeah. Having electric senders is much better.
Yeah. So it's going to make my life easier, especially with props such as the Havoc Blaster. Lots of flat surfaces, so having that is just easy.
What is it? Is those kind of just USB operated with a flat sender, or is it connected?
It's actually the Bosch, but it has like this triangular standing pad on the front. It's still a USB, charges through USB, but you just remove the pads, put another one. It's quite powerful, actually.
Yeah. I have a couple of cylindrical ones, but I need to get a flat one for those kind of flat surfaces that you just don't want to ruin.
Yeah,
I'll have a look at that.
Ed Wexter says you need to smile more.
Who needs to smile more?
You do.
Wait a second.
Prop. Smile.
You're not allowed that sign on here.
You mean like this?
What, this smile?
I see the bumblebee there. Looks like he's moving. He's working.
Yeah, she's working on the Scorpion mask by Wexter, but multi-material version. I might maybe shouldn't have said that, but it's cool. And it's been working great since I built it. I broke the idler inside. That's why I originally started to rebuild it, and I had a jammed hot end from the pneumatic tire filament. So I just started doing both at once, and it's pretty great since then. I've replaced all the bearings inside it, the gears. I had a spare set of gears from when it originally came. So just give it a little refresh, because when it's printing 5-6 days at a time constantly, and recently we've had a lot of hot weather. So like when I've been lazy getting up late, like it's been really warm, like 32 degrees, 35 degrees. So it dries that lube out and then bearings really fast. So it was just an extra to pack them and put it back normal again.
I think that's just an excuse to take printers apart and rebuild them, correct? Because 2 weeks ago, you had a filament jam, and you started taking your printer apart.
Yeah.
So
I think I enjoy, other than Wexter and Fortis models, I think I've enjoyed printing Prusa parts more than else. Even if I'm not going to use them, like when I'm buying whenever I buy PETG, I always ask myself that question. I wonder if that looked good as a printer.
It's a good way to look at it.
He keeps waiting for his printers to break. All it takes is one little component to break. Oh, great! I get to rebuild this printer now.
Yeah. Filament jam, I'll just rebuild it completely, and yeah.
That were a sucker though. That was that. I used the recycled tire filament, and literally, it like a bomb. It went in, it got stuck, and then it was just everywhere, absolutely everywhere. And once it were on, and once it had gone cold, I pulled most of that I could while it were hot. The heat gun wasn't coming near it. Honestly, like the metal was glowing and it wasn't even moving. So that was just get rid of that one.
So you're not going to try that again?
Oh yeah, I'm just going to dry it properly and use the Hemera, and I don't think there'll be any issue. It was just more of a spur of the moment thing, and the Hemera were printing Joe's Frankenstein, so I thought, I'll just put it in the MK3, it'll be fine. And it didn't go well.
I haven't printed that yet. I've been thinking about doing it life size on the Phenom.
It's
like full scale.
My Frankie?
Yeah.
Nah, I honestly speaking, so now like even like a week after that, I realized all the stupid things I did in that design. The thing is with ZBrush, you have like perspective view and everything. So if you sculpt something in perspective, as soon as you print it out, you think this looks completely different from what I designed. But it's no. So yeah.
Well, you're never going to be happy, even. It's
no, absolutely not. I mean,
always look at it and say, "Oh, this is not what I wanted."
Exactly.
Like here
no, and that's why I literally stopped playing around with Frankie, because I spent like at least a day of just changing a few things here and there. Oh, this could be better. This could be better. But then I realized I can't fix that because I should have fixed it like ages ago. Then I said, "That's it. It's off. It's done. It's ready. Yeah. I want to move on to the next thing."
Otherwise, you're never going to finish any models.
Exactly. Yeah, but Chris, you need to do that version that Pokon did where he took Frankie's head and put it on.
Oh, that was awesome.
And it's the right shape as well. You'll be able to go massive.
Franken hoodie.
Do a full-size community print of that one. Maybe life size.
Of the scan.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm in.
No.
Yeah,
No.
let's start a Twitter
No.
campaign. Let's do it.
No, first of all, no, because I was like 10 kilos heavier back then, so no.
We'll scale it in X and Y, don't we?
It's just exactly.
Just stretch you a little bit. That's fine.
Just slice it in 4 pieces. I'll run it off the belt printers. It'll be done in like a couple weeks.
There we go. Oh wait, we have Wexter's in the chat. How about we take the mini noob and put Frankie's head on it?
Yeah. Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
Mini Frank.
A mini Frankie.
Wexter, can you make that happen? Doable?
He's already doing it, I bet.
It's 5 minutes. It's going to be ready.
When I've been streaming with him recently, I've been watching him work, and the way that he does stuff and the way it works, I didn't have any idea how it works really. And then I watched him sculpting a tongue to put in a mouth, and he sculpted all his tongue, like even the back of it, to the point where it were like literally fantastic. And then he shoved it all in the mouth, and he only modelled the back of it purely just because he was modelling it anyway, because he could have just made it like a square and stuck it in.
Yeah.
So yeah, quite cool. I like that sort of stuff. I'll just sit and wait for STLs.
So that's the thing, like for example with that skull, that took about 2 days to do, and the reason for that is, like for example, I modeled every tooth separately. Like every single tooth is modeled separately, its own file, its own tool, because that particular skeleton is going to be a base for any other figure I actually design eventually, so it has to be as anatomically correct as possible. So then I can like open its mouth, make it crooked teeth, remove a couple of teeth,
pull a tooth out, rotate it,
exactly.
Side, yeah, I'm with you.
So yeah, stuff like it's fun. It's a lot of fun, and it's such a mental getaway where you can just put your headphones on, listen to some music, and just concentrate, and just that's it. That's all that matters.
Fred likes designing with he needs a ruler for scale, don't you, Fred? Like perspective.
Yeah, well, I can't use anything that doesn't have measurements on it. So,
Vedran said he'll make it happen.
Woohoo!
Timestamp. It's
actually Arte Creator. My XP pen went into sort of like my Fusion, my ZBrush went into screensaver mode, and I saw the photo of what's her name here, actually as a display in the screensaver.
Voodoo Brie.
Yeah.
Voodoo Brie.
No, it wasn't the Voodoo Brie. It was the Spanish chicky.
España?
Yeah, the Spanish model.
Yeah, it was awesome, absolutely awesome. And I want to take a photo of it, but then the screen changed.
Yeah, no problem. Yeah, but I agree with everything you have been saying about ZBrush. The perspective, using a orthographic or perspective view, it's very complicated. I can show. I can show. Can you see
so
this?
So cool. Yeah, exactly.
I made several iterations because of the proportion of the head with the legs and everything, and because of that, because I still have the problem with trying to match the proportion of the head with the rest of the body. I have made prints where the head is too big or the head is too small, and same thing for the head. So yeah, I understand perfectly what you said before. And you are doing perfectly. The models are incredible. And yeah, go for it.
I mean, there's so much to learn. It's so much. And the thing is, the little tricks, like even after watching 20 hours of ZBrush, I spoke to Wex, and he sent me a link of his video doing the Joker face. And just in that video, there was like 4 or 5 different tricks, which I wasn't even aware of. And it's so much. There's so much to learn. And it's so awesome because it gives you so much flexibility. And once you learn all these things, like you can, you have an idea, you can bring it to life. So now I'm going to start. I actually have this idea in mind. I want to start doing mini figurines of. I don't know if you guys played Unstable Unicorns. I absolutely love that game. So I'm going to start doing model figures of each character of Unstable Unicorns. It's something easy, something that I'm sure I can do now, and it's fun. And it's something that I'll learn from.
It's a good challenge. You have to set yourself some goals. There are not just...
The first one is actually here. It's a stoner unicorn. Obviously.
You talk about the Spaniard model, and as you guys seen, I've been trying to push for colored prints, which is something that we have seen quite a few by now, but it's something still new, and it's still complicated because you have to separate all the parts. So this is, for example, how I've been doing the models, and this is all the parts you see.
I can't see any parts. I can just see the picture of the evolution of these scaling.
Sorry.
I think we have a guest in the waiting room.
Yeah. Can someone exit out of the?
I'll drop.
I'll go.
No. You're staying. I'll leave. Thank you, guys. Take care. See you later.
Make sure you come back, Fred.
Yeah. Well, don't worry.
Don't leave me, Fred.
No, you're in good company.
Fred, don't leave
How come
me.
when I say that, no one offers to leave? I'm like, all right, you need to go. Okay.
Bye.
Bye, Fred.
Take care.
Ooh, expose. Okay, cool. See, there it is. New trick. I know what that exposes.
Wow. Okay, so whoever's in full screen mode, can you exit out, please?
Just for a few moments?
Yeah, I can.
One.
Let's stop.
Not me. It's not me.
No, it's me. I'm trying to figure out how I...
it's right at the top of the screen. There's a small bar.
Yeah.
Because I couldn't figure it out either.
I have... Oh, okay. I don't think... No? Stop share. Okay.
Okay. So, next person up. Just so you guys know, we wanted to try to do something for the community to give, a break as far as talking about PPE and COVID and everything else. And I'm really happy because of the people who I really wanted to be in here have come in throughout the entire past 20 some odd hours. Because if anything, those guys need a break, including Mr. Noob. Because especially those guys have been working their backsides off. And there is never a competition as far as who's done what more or anything else. And I want to take a moment just to bring in our next guest, because along with everyone, Pooch, Noob, everyone, he's done an awful lot as well. So, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, I give to you Mr. Josef Prusa.
Prusa, I knew it was going to be him. That's it.
Oh
Tom's about to have a heart attack.
Tom is going to have a heart attack now.
I've got internet problems. I've got to go.
He's done an awful lot as well.
Hey, what's up?
So, ladies and gentlemen. Oh my God, that's how I sound? To you.
You look so different. You look so young. Then I remember that you are actually young.
Like you.
I hate you for it.
Look so masked.
What's up, everyone?
Doing good.
I feel like I should have come without a beard now.
How's things in Czech Republic and in Prusa headquarters?
We are doing pretty good, but as we did nicely with the first wave, we have a lot of people like, we didn't need the quarantine and stuff. It was useless. Look, no one is getting infected. So, so we will have a next wave, I guess, in like 2 weeks. So
yeah, we actually had someone do a street party today of about 30 people.
Really?
Next to the beach.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
It's-
Sorry.
So how this thing works? Can I have all of you in like small windows?
Yeah,
Oh,
if you're clicking
Color-
at the
color
right top
view.
corner, you should see it.
Click
Okay,
on
now I
the speaker
now I
view
see-
icon
yeah.
at the top of the screen.
Yeah. Now I see all the beautiful faces at the same time. Yeah, I can give you a
behind
peek.
me.
I can give you a peek of my stash if you want, just for a bit.
X stash.
Okay. That didn't go well.
Oh my god, you look so different.
Tom's crying.
Did anyone grab a screen grab?
Yeah.
Oh, this is being saved.
Recorded this time.
Oh damn.
Yeah, it's on YouTube.
Well, I mean, it is out already. When I first did it, I made a GIF of myself, so it is on the internet, so it will never go away.
So my question is, are you going to change the stickers now that come with all Prusa machines?
You mean with the mask or?
Yeah.
Or what?
No, like without the beard, you know, all the models that you've designed.
No, it is slowly growing back. So.
New Mini Joe.
Exactly. All the things that we have to do, the hats.
I mean, we have a new ZBrush master noob, so he can take a.
I'll take that challenge. I'll absolutely take that challenge.
Make sure you take the picture of him trying to lick his mustache with his tongue. Use that one for the model.
It's
while winking.
Okay, so what was the topic before I crashed the meeting?
None of us can remember now.
ZBrush.
ZBrush, yeah, ZBrush.
Yeah, ZBrush was top of the topic.
So what is your suggestion? How to start?
For me, someone who's just started, I think my suggestion would be to find some good resources and just watch. Don't just jump into ZBrush. Don't just install it and try to do something, because you probably won't get much. But resources, Wix videos, Skillshare. Get the basics, like watch basics. At least learn how to find things and shortcuts, because those help.
Yeah, we have a lot of tutorials now, even free ones, and most of them are very good.
Yes. Agreed. I mean, ZBrush have actually their own videos, which you can see, which you can watch for free, which are extremely informative. With Skillshare, I found it interesting because you actually have projects which you can follow and learn from. So as well, so like full 200-hour projects.
Yeah.
Then you also need some kind of talent, I think.
That might be a showstopper for me.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's going to require a lot of patience. With me, it's probably a bit easier because I paint. Like I love painting. I've been painting since I was like 13 years old. I used to do my own art exhibitions when I was 16. So like I have arts as a background. So it's kind of like an appendix to my art capabilities, let's call them.
Okay.
Yeah, but if not, just patience. It requires patience.
So you don't think it was a mistake to pick up ZBrush?
Dude. Did you go there? I think it was a mistake to shave your beard.
No, it was. I mean, it was for a good cause.
Yeah, exactly. You know, funnily enough, even my hair is like this because of a good cause. So people don't get jealous of my beautiful curly locks.
Yeah, actually, I'm pretty lucky that I had a haircut, but you know, the hairdressers are still closed around here. So I mean, what would you do in your company? So we just posted on Slack that if we have any like former hairdressers in our team, and we found 3. So we just made on our terrace. We made like an impromptu barber shop, and everybody can get a haircut.
I have 13 years experience in shaving heads.
I mean, if you want a part-time job, you can fly over.
I'll take the ones that require less work, that would require shaving. I'll do those.
Noob do.
Yeah, it's the Bane look.
I'm still amazed my daughter trusted me with my clippers to trim her hair.
my daughter did do my hair, blade too, everywhere it worked.
Oh yeah, I think I saw the tweet that your daughter did your hair.
Most scary experience I've ever had in my life, and she weren't frightened at all. She just went straight for it.
I'm waiting to grow out and get the Bob Ross going.
You'll be able to plait that soon.
Yeah. You just add water and watch it grow.
So when's the Mark IV coming out, Joe? Come on. Let's spotlight.
I have no idea.
After Corona.
It's already out, isn't it?
No, I have no idea. Everything is so slowed down. I mean, we can pretty much make the current printers. That is fine.
Yeah.
But I mean, just with the shipping, something which normally takes 2 days to ship, it now takes 2 weeks.
Yeah.
And if we want to do, like, even with the XL, that is getting delayed because of that, because we just cannot prototype quickly enough or order like the sample batches for starting of the production now. It is basically impossible now. So
in terms of time, how do you think all this situation has set you back in terms of, you know, your roadmap for
I mean it didn't it is different on each front. So basically, in releasing new products, it is slowing us down. I cannot tell you how much, because it is impossible to know what will be happening even in a month. But since the pandemic started, we have like almost double the orders. So on that regard, we are going ahead of the schedule. So yeah. I'm now getting another building and finding a way how to securely hire new people, and so we can keep up. But it is kind of bonkers.
If you need anyone working remotely for you, I'm raising my hand, just saying.
May or may not.
I mean, I'm already told. I already get claims that you pay me for good reviews, so might as well just actually pay me.
Oh, okay.
Do you guys think that with everyone staying at home, people are, well, it's harder to get the materials, but do you think that people are getting this chance that staying home and they're trying to get now into 3D printing, getting 3D printers?
Maybe. So from our point of view, maybe some people are just bored at home, so they want to buy the printer and want to pick up a new hobby. But also companies which are normally they should normally be buying automakers and stuff. They just they just go for a smarter choice now.
Nice choice of words.
That's a good thing from the pandemic. So it's like seeing the Prusas in. I know they're already in the medical field, but everybody that's like the outside public seeing the Prusas in the medical field will surely bring that round to a lot more of those type of people that are spending automaker money because they don't know any better. Can now spend Prusa money, and they can tenfold what they're actually doing.
Yeah. So what happened with the 3D printing of PPE all around the globe? A lot of people who are outside of the 3D printing bubble and were thinking like, oh, you guys are just printing toys. Now have a little bit different different sense of what 3D printing can do.
Yeah.
And when the big industrial companies are saying like, oh, it's just toys. Now we have as a community something to show. So that is a nice side effect of helping.
My mother-in-law is in her 70s, and she keeps sending me articles and snippets of people making masks and ear savers and all the rest. She goes, "Oh, have you seen this?" Yes, but thanks.
Yeah, it's become talked about. That's the thing. I've noticed a lot of people that would never speak about it talking to me about it because they know that I do that sort of thing. And it's amazing to see how many people know of it now that didn't even have a clue. It's great.
Yeah.
It's amazing how many people send us the exact same link to the exact same article or news clipping over and over and over.
Oh yeah. Imagine what I'm getting here in Czech Republic, because we basically supply the whole all hospitals, all general practitioners. It is crazy. So we kind of are now like rock stars here. And as the shields are nicely recognizable, once they saw it for the first time, they can instantly recognize it everywhere. So it is crazy.
Joe, are you seeing a shift yet to injection molding and traditional manufacturing for the shields, so that your workload on those slowed down?
We started to do injection molding ourselves because we started pretty late, because I kind of expected that we will be doing it for a week or two, and then the traditional manufacturers will pick up. But when we were like 3.5 weeks in and nobody was, we started anyways. And even around the world, there were in all the countries there were like strong talking men. Oh, I will do it with injection molding, but I haven't seen many. I've seen Simi CNC, maybe the Smarter every day is doing something, but that is pretty much it. But still, it makes complete sense to continue printing, because again, like if in these times where shipping is really fucked up, it still makes sense to print locally and give it to people around you. And it makes sense to give these out even to the shop cashier in your favorite shop, because when he talks with customers, it makes sense for them to have additional protection. So it is just not for medical professionals. And at this point, when somebody starts to make like a big volume manufacturing, it will still go to the hospitals, and not to the other people.
Yeah, in fact, in Malta, I had a lot of health clinics contact me directly because they cannot get free shields from the hospital, because the hospital actually dictates where they go.
Yeah.
Which is why I literally decided to start printing myself, because I can print 200 to 300 shields a day, and just go around. Whoever needs, just please let me know. And I can. There's no strings attached. I'm not connected to anyone. If you need 100, just let me know, and I'll bring you 100. It's as simple as that.
Yeah, and we actually decided to go outside of the state distribution, because you know how it goes. Firstly, it takes like 4 days to actually from them receiving it to getting to the doctor. But also they might forget they would stock up the guys who are just working with the COVID patients. But for example, like oncological clinics, they wouldn't get it, and that is like super important.
Literally yesterday, I gave 250 to the gynecology and midwifery department of the local hospital here.
Yeah, and so we are now doing a lot for like senior houses or caring houses for seniors, because they wouldn't get it too, and that is basically a ticking time bomb.
Yeah. No, here in Sweden, we I would say that most people 3D printing has been starting to ramp down a little bit, but many are still printing and giving away to, especially to local nursing homes and elderly homes, because those are the ones like very high risk, but still quite low priority in the healthcare system. But we actually got I think right now 3 companies that have started injection molding face shields. So that they produced about 25,000 a day, or something like that, 30,000 a day. And two more are ramping up this week, actually.
And what designs are they making?
One company is making their own that they basically created, or well, actually a friend of mine designed it, and the other 4 are making derivatives of my design.
I hope they are counting that they will have to certify it. I was waiting before.
They are.
Yeah, because I was waiting until I was pretty sure that we will pass the independency certification, because actually in European Union you can during this special state you can sell stuff without the certification.
You can't
now, but you have to certify laser.
Yeah.
So
no, they did that. So that's why I say it's a derivative of the design. Also, they made some changes to be able to certify it by it properly.
Yeah, it is, and the certification we did it's pretty tough. So they put it on a figurine and they like fire steel balls at it. And other crap like that.
Yeah, but it also depends on what class you're certifying it under.
Oh yeah, we are going for the highest, so it has the most use after.
So class 3.
I don't know if it is interchangeable. So this is like check norm.
No, the ones that they're doing it in Sweden, they are certifying it as class 1, so splash protection, and not as a protective face shield.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's much more lenient.
Yeah, but basically when I'm doing it, I'm trying to do it properly. So it is like 1-to-1. It is the same as the most profit ones they were getting from the suppliers before.
Yeah, no, like 95% of all the ones used in Sweden was the single-use ones, and those are all classified as class 1 and just splash protection. So that was the one that was used before in hospitals. So that's what we went for with these ones too.
It sounds like you're both set up for when wave 2 hits of this. I mean, if we get a little bit of a slowdown or a break here, that you're able to start stockpiling a little bit, or people can keep contributing.
Yeah. So I mean, honestly, we will have waves of new cases until we have vaccine.
Oh yeah.
Because so hopefully after the second wave, people will finally take it seriously. I'm just so mad at the trolls, like spreading the fake news and stuff. Like, what is going on, man? With
you can just inject some disinfection. So.
Oh yeah, and burn the 5G towers.
Oh no.
But what the fuck? I mean, they are 5G is much more safer because it does beamforming, so it doesn't like, radiate everything everywhere, and just sends it to the phone like a sniper.
Yeah.
But I mean,
See, you just said sniper. Someone's gonna go and say if they install 5G towers here, they're gonna shoot me.
This is how
at your
fake
phone. News starts.
I will snipe you with 5G radiation.
It's
confirmed.
Accurate than a shotgun, Mike.
To be honest, that like all these fake news and conspiracy theories are hurting so much. To be honest, they ruin stuff.
Hey, at least you don't have your world leader, your country's leaders saying, "Oh yeah, just get a whole bunch of UV out of you or inject disinfectant. It'll be just fine."
I'm not going to say anything because I passed one single comment on Twitter and I was told off for actually commenting on someone else's country. So I'm just going to keep it to myself.
Oh, if it's about the U.S., you can speak for me.
Go
ahead.
No, but
it's
I think
it was because I when Tom said like, is there an alternative to actually hitting a punching bag during this time, and I just went Trump.
No comment.
And I was told off for joking about it. I'm like, oh, we're gonna stay quiet now.
So actually, I was talking about the disinfectant with someone 2 days ago, and they just sent me an article that since then 30 people did crazy stuff with disinfection in just New York alone.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
People are desperate, unfortunately.
That's what's going to happen.
Yeah. There was an article about, New York cases of disinfectant-related injuries have doubled. Like it was yesterday. And there was another state who claimed that they got like 3 times their request for information on how, if they can use disinfectant.
Yeah, and the National Poison Hotline.
But I mean, if you need to ask these things, like maybe you should just go ahead and try them.
Yeah, if you're crazy enough to actually do that, then what's going on anyway?
It's just
Darwin,
I'm
doing the daily dose of UV lights, and I feel great.
The best meme I saw was from some vampire movie where they had like bullets with embedded UV light in it.
You see, there you go, 5G towers and UV bullets.
No, it just feels so surreal when like disinfectant manufacturers has to go out and make press releases like our product is not meant for ingestion or injection or internal use.
Oh, they scrambled to say that quickly.
Yeah.
No wonder why.
Like that has not been a press release they've written before. No one can prepare for that.
Their PR department's like, wait, you want us to do what? No, you guys are messing with us. No one's that stupid. It's on the label. Not for internal use.
But
no, really.
Precedent.
At least this explains why like toasters have a label on them which says do not throw in a bath or do not use in a shower.
Yeah.
At least now we know why. Because these people do exist.
Worst thing about this misinformation is that it kind of deletes all the good work we've and other all around the globe did. So I just hope all the hard work that doesn't go to waste.
Yeah.
Because of these.
I think
What's on the
Darwin's
menu, Joe?
probably just rolling over in his grave saying, I told you so.
No, Darwin's just taking a list at the moment.
See, I think there's a secret Prusa plan to turn the Prusa factory into the Prusa fortress. So when this completely goes nuts and all riots break out, Joseph's just going to sit there, flip a button, walls are going to go up the factory.
And
turn
just
sound.
Towers with snipers are going to go up
But you've been to our anti-aircraft shelter, right?
No, I haven't.
Shane did, right?
That was probably after I left because I don't remember the Prusa anti-aircraft shelter. I would have remembered.
Oh
that.
no, it is there since the 30s when they were building the building. It is down below.
Oh wait, the one, yeah, oh yeah. Your brother sent me down there one night by myself. Yeah, I remember that. No. Here's the thing, right? Michael was like, "Hey, you're working the overnight. Do me a favor, go down to the sub basement, and I need you to check on this." I'm like, "All right." So it's like 1-2 o'clock in the morning. I go all the way down there, and it's just this red plastic tarp over a door with a light in the background. I'm like, yeah, I've seen this movie. No way in hell am I going in there. I go right back up and everything else. And I send him a message. I'm like, what do you want me to check in there? He's like, is there fire or anything? I'm like, no. He's like, did you look in there? I'm like, hell no. He's like, go in there and just look. So I just sat there. This is how brave I am. I took a broomstick and I went back down there. And I just sat there with the broomstick and just slid it open. Turned on the flashlight on my phone. I'm like, yep, that's all I'm doing. Okay, yep, it's fine. And then I sat there and I I printed out the the Walking Dead don't open dead inside, and I just put that on the plastic thing. I took a photo of it, and I'm like, I'm never going down there again.
So we actually converted it into like DIY EMC radiation measurement lab before we go to like certified lab. So we just know what we are, how we stick up, like both in what ballpark we are with the new products, because it is pretty pretty much working like a big Faraday cage.
So it's 5G safe.
Yes.
And sniper proof.
So hence why you can talk about safely about 5G, because you're protected from those snipers.
Welcome to the mad world. Yep.
Guys, I'm going to leave now to log off. It was very good to be with you all.